Hey YouTube, so on the last video that I did yesterday, I kind of went through what was Chris's state of mind on the day of, and a couple days before the murders. And so now I'm going to go through a little bit more information of what I found in the discovery files and why I think that he got to the girls first, as well as maybe talking a little bit about Shan'nan's final moments, because there were 13 minutes from the time that she walked in to the time, from the time that she walked into the house to the time that her friend texted in the group chat. So this is page 1923 of the documents, and part of the reason why I said that he got to the girls first is because he sent this picture from the barbecue instead of snapping the picture of his babies right there in front of him. Now, right here at 1809, he's responding to his coworker Robert, or Robert is responding back to him saying that he appreciates him wanting to go to the oil site. Which is odd in character that this late at night he is thinking still, or I guess it's not late at night, but at this time, 1809, he's still trying to convince Robert about letting him go and check it out. Here he is. He tells 1706, he says, I have the whip checks for the service, 629. I'm going to go straight out, hit there from my house in the morning. I will look at 319 as well and run the 1129 if you want. So one of the things that I found weird about this statement is he's giving too much information. It's like he's already pre-planned. Why are you going to tell your friend that you're going to leave from your house? Obviously, at that time in the morning, you're going to leave from your house. So it's kind of like he already knows that if there is some type of investigation, they're going to go through his text messages. He's already deleting messages that Nicole had sent, or not Nicole, Shan'nan had sent to him. I can't remember if he was deleting messages from Nicole. Although, I don't understand why he was deleting things and putting pictures in the secret calculator. Nobody was going to find those secret pictures. Kind of stupid. But anyway, so too much information. Why say from my house? Why text that from my house? Okay, only because you know that somebody's going to read these messages and you want them to know that you were at your house and then you went straight to work. Okay. Moving down here, this is about the fire stick. And you can see, again, he's trying to sell Roberts the idea. Yep, I'm standing right next to him. Haha, I was giving him a fire stick to look at. I can go there though. No sense in both of us going out there. It's weird. It's very weird. No sense in both of us going out there. 1809, finally, Roberts, it's just like, fine, whatever, if you want to go out there early, sounds good, man. I appreciate it. I'll take the favor so I can wake up a little bit later and go out there, so I don't have to wake up at 5 in the morning to drive all 40 minutes away, whatever. Anyway, so Shan'nan writes back in 1946, hey, the kid's in bed. I want a picture. He only states that Bella is in bed. And her asking for this picture, I can't remember if I said this or not, but her asking for this picture and he sends the barbecue picture instead doesn't make sense, because if he has time, let's say he's getting Cece to bed, he has time to text. Why not just take a picture of baby Cece and send that to her? Or why not just quick snap pictures of them in their room? I mean, it would seem a little bit easier than going through your phone, finding the photo album, clicking on the picture, deciding on which picture to send. And he only sends one of Bella, not both the girls. It's weird. Which makes me think that he got to the girls first. Also, when I think about the interrogation video of him describing what happened, I wonder if I can find, what page am I on? 1923. I wonder if I can find his statement. The statement that he made to the police. Ugh, passed through all this. I know it's on here. Don't want to write the word statement because I know there's going to be a whole bunch. But in here somewhere, he gives his statement to police which is the same thing he said in the interrogation videos, that Bella was sprawled out on the bed and he saw Shan'nan over Cece. And then he got to Shan'nan. It seems like he's trying to project himself or project Shan'nan as himself. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the report. Give me a second. That he's trying to project himself as Shan'nan, and he tells you the order that everybody was murdered. Bella was first, then it was Cece, and then it was Shan'nan. And in the other video I explained about how he would not have had time to think and process and prepare and all this stuff if he would have just waited till Shan'nan got home. It also doesn't make logical sense that he would wait until 1 o'clock in the morning to take out his family. Because by that time, you're tired, you've been thinking all day whether or not you're going to do this thing. At that point, it might seem like a bad idea to pick that day. And the only reason why it would make sense is if he had already gotten to the girls and then Shan'nan was the last thing that was left on his list. He had to follow through with what he started with. Like I said in the other video, I don't think all of it was pre-planned, because I think he planned or contemplated, in my opinion, that he was going to take out everybody. But the part about the disposal, he probably didn't know what he was going to do. And because he found out about the oil site, it was his out. And it's his opportunity. And we know from the interrogation videos, he likes to take opportunities because he's blaming Shan'nan for doing everything to the girls. Anyways, let me go back. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Let me type in 1900. I can't stand this when it does this. Let me go back down. Here we are, 1900. Okay, I think I said everything I wanted to. Oh, there's one more thing. Of why I think the girls were taken out first is due to the fact that the way that she was murdered was more violent than Cece and Shan'nan because she had more injuries. So it seemed when you watch those crime shows and you hear about these, serial killers or murderers, and they always talk about their first crime. It's always messy, you know, and it seemed like to me that she was the first because of her injuries. Maybe he didn't like the way that things went, so then with Cece, he tried a different way, and by the time he got to Shan'nan, he had already figured out how he can do things without getting, you know, too many injuries on him and too many injuries on the other person. Alright, here we go. We're going to go back to this. It's a little bit less morbid. So she tries to call him at 21:29. The call is unanswered. What is he doing at this time? So she texts him, tried to call you. This is what, 20 minutes later? 15 minutes later? Tried to call you to give you an update. We're starting to board, and they announced that our crew isn't here yet, and it's going to be a minimum of an hour before they are here. He still doesn't text back. She gets her calendar alert saying that the flight's in. He doesn't reply back to until 2 hours or an hour and a half later, 23:21. He finally replied, "Holy crap, sorry I passed out on the couch. That's going to be late." This sentence to me, this phrase to me, sounds like when you're running late to go to meet up with somebody and you say, "Holy crap, I'm in traffic. Sorry." Like, it seems like a cop-out. This is it's a safe face. He's doing something during this time. He's doing something in this 2 hours or hour and a half. It's bizarre. Which makes me think again that he was busy being a monster. Alright, here's August 13th. She connects to the Wi-Fi, so she finally arrived. She doesn't reply back to his message, but I guess it makes sense because she only arrives home 40 minutes later. Right, she texts her friend, which makes sense, she's getting her luggage, get in the car, they're probably talking in the car. She tells her friend that they landed. She's also probably thinking, it's late. He's probably asleep, which is probably why she didn't text. At 1:48, Watts' phone logged the Vivian alert of Shannan's entry into their home. So she comes in at 1:48. And this is the missing 13 minutes. Where is it? 1:48 to 2:01. Her friend Cassie, or her friend, I think that's Nicole. Her friend, her bestie, says we are home, and Shan'nan doesn't reply to this. And if she gets off a plane and then she tells her other friend, "Oh, we landed," why would she not reply to this message? Which makes me think that this is the time period where he probably attacked her. So 2:18, the home router logged an unspecified activity in Watts' phone. Wasn't it at 2:30 in the morning that Shannan's phone ordered, or somebody ordered something from Amazon, like female products? I think that was him. 2:18, he's trying to figure out what could I do to make it look like she's still at home. I think this is what this is, leading up to the buying of the products. I think he lied, saying he never heard of that. I think he tried to buy something and was shocked that the credit card came back, or the order came back back as denied because there's nothing in the account. You have to scrap that idea and move forward with his monstrous activities. Okay, so in a second, I'm going to explain these 13 minutes of what I think happened, but let's move on to the morning hours. 5:48, Watts left the home with the bodies of his family piled in the back seat of his truck. 6:29 to 6:30, he made 3 unanswered calls to Roberts. You could tell that he's kind of panicking at this moment. He's trying to figure out where his employees are, where are you at? Trying to figure out how much time he has. And if he's acting like this, trying to move the bodies, being really sketchy early in the morning. Like, why are you calling me 3 times in the morning? Why are you asking me where I am in the 6:30 in the morning? You know I'm on my way, right? Kind of being very micromanagey. Then he makes another call at 6:32. He's really desperate at this point. And then he's like, fine, okay, I'm at the survey. Where are you going first? He's really trying to figure out where people are to kind of calculate how much time he has. So, like I said, because he's acting like this during this time, frantic, odd, that when Shan'nan, he does have that 9-minute conversation. If he had gotten to the girls first, I would assume he's acting the same way during this time. Because this is only, what is this, 30 minutes later? After he sends, almost an hour, 40 minutes later, after he sends the first picture and she's calling, he hasn't answered her phone or answered her call, so he finally has to answer the call and he's agitated. Because he just did the unthinkable. Alright, so I know this video, the way that I'm talking is a little bit out of order, but hopefully you're following me. I did take notes this time for the videos that I'm about to show you of what I think happened in those 13 minutes from 1:48 to 2:01. So I'm going to pause it here, and then I'm going to pause it here, and then we'll get back to the videos. Alright, so before I get to those videos, I'm going to go back to page 1640. Let's do that thing again. 1640. Because that's where he makes his statement to police about the order of events. And I didn't realize that when I was talking before that it was actually on the page, so let me get there. Also, sorry about the breathing in the mic. I didn't realize I was doing it as much. I don't have the cover to the mic, so it kind of catches everything. Alright, so 1640, let's get there. Here it is. The affidavit for the court. I think it was here. Watts would eventually ask to speak with his father, who is present. Afterwards, Watts told investigators that after he told Shan'nan he wanted a separation, he walked downstairs for a moment. Watts said when he returned to his bedroom to speak with Shan'nan further, she was not in the room. He said from the baby monitor located on Shan'nan's nightstand, he observed Bella sprawled out on her bed in blue. Watts said he could see Shan'nan on the monitor over CC. Now listen, this is where I think that he is telling people or the investigators what actually happened, except that he's switching out Shan'nan for what he actually did. We've seen the baby monitor. We know that the baby monitor is in black and white. There's no way that he knows that they're blue. He, unless he was there and he saw it. Like um, when two kids are in a kitchen and something breaks, and the other kid says, "Oh, he did it," and can tell you every single detail, when actually they're the one that probably broke something or whatever. So, anyways, he says that he went to a rage, and that's where he got Shan'nan. I don't believe. Oh, well, let me go back first. One of the things that I was talking to my boyfriend about was that I wonder if he was trying to get her mad, so that she would attack him. Um, or maybe like he was trying to get a rise out of her, because I remember she was saying something about how she's Italian. She has an Italian temper or something like that. Oh, I didn't know that. Shanann's mother was full-blooded Italian, would make Shanann very anxious. I wonder why that's in there. Okay, anyway, we'll turn it back. Here she says to Addie, "My weakness is I have an Italian temper that can't hold back when pissed. I'm a fixer and I want to talk this out, and he just wants to work it out in his head." Again with that "in his head" reference. "I've just been acting kind of normal." So she's acting normal, which makes me think that she's thinking he's not acting normal. "Morning, baby, love you." She's trying to get everything back centered into the way that the family normally interacts with each other, instead of this silence thing that Chris is doing. But not overdoing it. Overdoing it is what we do. We are so affectionate, can't stop touching each other, yada yada yada. Okay. So back to the thing about, I wonder if Chris was trying to get a rise out of her because of the Barbie. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, but the Barbie doll. Look, she had full access to his cell phone and often used it to make posts on Facebook about Thrives. He never logged onto Facebook, which makes me think that he was trying to get a rise out of her because Thrive was just about everything to her besides her family. And, he's ignoring her, which makes her upset. He sends her that Barbie doll, right? She doesn't take the bait. She just thinks it's weird and she doesn't know what to think about it. Then he deletes his Facebook, which he knows she's gonna know. It's kind of like when he made the decision, like, "I don't care, I'm gonna delete it." And she just questions it, but she doesn't force it, again, because she's trying to keep everything normal, the same. And she's really working hard to keep them together. Oh, here it is. "Why did you cancel your Facebook account?" What day is this? Look, he sends her. Shanann shared a picture of the baby at 10:06, and he sent her this picture, which I said he probably, in my opinion, staged, because a 3 and 4-year-old is not going to put a doll placed like this with everything tucked in. It looks like there's two. There's a blanket here and a blanket to make sure the face is all covered. Like, that's weird. Which is why she said, "Don't know what to think about this." There's no way that a little child, toddler, put a doll like this, not so neatly. I mean, this is propped up. This is thought out, in my thinking, which leads her to write this, which, I mean, it is, what, 2.5 hours later that she wrote this, but she probably spent time thinking and writing it down. Really nice, neat handwriting and pretty nails. Anyway, so, look, she didn't even make any mistakes when she wrote this out. Interesting. So she really did spend a lot of time thinking about what she was going to write. So, he sends her this picture, kind of like a warning, initial warning. He uses that credit card, knowing that she's gonna know that he was at the Lazy Dog. And didn't the mistress even say, like, it was weird that he didn't use the Visa Anadarko card, instead he used his regular credit card, and that's why she thought that things were really over, because he was using a real credit card. Anyway, so, and that's later on, it seems like he's just trying to get a rise out of her, like, he doesn't care anymore. He's already made his decision, he doesn't care. The picture, he deletes his account. Why did you cancel your Facebook account? He doesn't respond, he doesn't care. He knows that she needs that as part of her business, and he's looking for any way, in my thinking, to hurt her. He even throws this book that she gives him in the trash when it arrives. Okay, here's the mistress sending semi-photos, nude photos again, making it worse. He's deleting texts from her. It's August 10th. Even his friend asked, why did you delete your Facebook account? He just said, freed myself. That's what he wanted. This is his motive. Am I thinking he wanted to be free? Liberated. The thing is, when you think about it, he didn't control his account. Shan'nan controlled his accounts. So, what does that say when you're saying, I'm liberating myself, when you don't even control the account? He's doing away everything that has to do with Shan'nan, and trying to, in a way, hurt her in the worst way, affecting her business, affecting her emotionally, detaching himself from her. Look, again, it's like he made his decision. He's out with the mistress. I feel like the only reason why he's replying back at times, is so it could look like he's being friendly. Anyway, so he finds out here, or she finds out right here. It's so weird that 22:15 she called him. They had a 3-minute conversation. This had to be during the time when he was at, and that's probably why she called it this time. She's suspicious right here. Watts searched Google for Lazy Dog because he's probably driving there at that time. Looking for the restaurant. He's probably driving there. And then she searches the game score. I want her to see, like, is he really at the game? No, because look, Watts told Jeremy that he would be home in 20 minutes. So, he must have just... 18:33. Yeah, that's enough time for him to be at the restaurant during this time, 18:33. 4:33 to um, he's probably just arriving around 1900 hours. Um, she's trying to figure out what time it'll be over because she's seeing suspicious activity because she probably got that alert about money being used at the Lazy Dog, which is why she searches it up. 2219. And to look up the location. And as soon as she had noticed the alert, she probably called to see what was he doing. Not to like accuse him of anything, but maybe to see if she can catch him somewhere where he's not supposed to be, but he had already left at that point. Oh, save your receipt so we can write it off. And that's probably where he made his excuse about getting beers and whatnot. Anyway, it's just more proof that he just didn't care at this time. So let me get to the videos because this is actually getting quite long. Okay, so this is the body cam footage from when the officer has gone to do the welfare check. And this is also where we're going to look at what Shan'nan could have been doing in those 13 minutes. So from 1:48 when she walked into the house to 2:01 when her friend group texted and she didn't text. So fast forward. So one thing I want to point out about Chris here is immediately, I don't know why this, immediately he's acting suspicious because he gets out of his car after hearing that your wife is missing from multiple people are calling you. Why do you, he rushes to the back of his car, which shows that, you know, he's acting like he's in a frantic rush, but then he starts walking slowly. He forgets to continue to rush. And why would you greet the officer? Why would you do that immediately? Like, I've watched so many crime shows on the ID channel or whatever, Netflix or whatever, and these monsters, these murderers, for some reason think acting friendly and cordial. Who was it? Oh yeah, the Ramsey case. He said, how did Mr. Ramsey greet the officer? And I think the detective said, oh, he was cordial. To appear like you're a nice person, but when you are going through a state of panic, in my thinking, my last thought is that I'm going to go and shake the officer's hand. I'm going to run into that house. I'm going to get in. Also, my boyfriend brought up a good point earlier when we were discussing that why didn't he open the garage from his car? If you're in a state of panic, you got that garage opener right there in hand, right? You should at least. Anyway, so that's where I think he's being sneaky. He took something out of the front seat of the car. And he hides it. Like, he picks it up casually, but he hides it by immediately turning towards the door. And you can see that he has, I know I keep pausing it, but you can see that he has his cell phones and all his tech under his left arm. So what does he grab? I wonder. Could it be her phone? Did he had planned to put her phone and stuff in the car, but just didn't have time? It was like, I'll deal with it later. But let's look. Rewind it a little bit. That's okay. He's walking up like he's doing a house showing or something. he grab? What did he grab out of the car? Out of the front seat. It's nothing to do with the girls. Can't be, because it's in the front. It's like he pretended to. It's like he pretended to reach over into the center console, but really went underneath the seat. See? See that? Watch him. Right here. He flips it like a phone. He flips it. Look, it looks pink. Isn't Shannan's phone pink? Watch him. See that? Anyway, so that's all pure speculation, whatever. So, what about the 13 minutes is what I'm getting at. The reason why I chose this video to do the 13 minutes is because the officer at this point is not quite sure what's going on. He thinks it's a welfare check. So he's calmly walking throughout, kind of like Shan'nan would be if she is going into her house. She's not going to be running, whatever, there's nothing going on. She's not suspecting anything. So she would naturally just walk the way that she normally would. This officer is naturally walking the way that he would. So let me get my notes out. And so I kind of, timed to see how long it would take for the officer, as if he was Shan'nan, to walk from the door to the kitchen, because we know her purse was left in the kitchen, her shoes were left at the door, her bag was left at the stairs. So I wrote 1948. Alright. Okay, started here. A little bit before, but let's say she kicks off her flip-flops. Right here, she puts her bag down. And then I went all the way to 207 to at least get in the kitchen. Okay, I'll stop here. 206, 207 to get in the kitchen. I would assume she would put her purse down. I don't know if they even showed that in that shot. Let me go back a little bit. Actually, her purse isn't there. I wonder where they found her purse. Because it ended up on the counter. I have to go back and find that. But anyway, so let's say that she put her stuff down somewhere in the house. Logically, when I think about this, what do you do when you first get off the airplane? It seems like for her, she was eager to get home, go to bed, right? You're on an hour flight, you just ate dinner before then, naturally you would go to the bathroom, right? So right now, from walking into the door to walking to the kitchen, it took about 1 minute and 5 seconds. So then I went to 207 to 212. The officer leads the way to the bathroom. Mind if I look around? Or 2155 I have, I think. Oops. Let me go back. Crap. Alright, going to the bathroom. Alright. So I had down actually really 2021 to 2026 going to the bathroom. So that's another, 5 seconds? So we're at 1:05, so we're at 1:10 now. On average, let's say it takes 3 minutes to use the bathroom. So now we're at 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Remember, she only has 13 minutes between the time that she comes in the house when it shows the activation to the time of the group chat. So 3 minutes. Now, there's one of two ways that she can go from here. Chris claims he was sleeping in the basement, although his story changed. He was upstairs and she talked to me. You know, I knew she was there because I felt the bed move. So maybe she did go down to the basement. I don't know. Or maybe, I don't know. So, in my thinking, let me backtrack and stop trying to add stuff. In my thinking, I don't think that she went to the basement because I think she's under the impression, since she didn't text him, that he's asleep. She's gonna go in quietly, just get in bed, wake up in the morning, maybe peek through the girls' rooms, get ready for bed, and wake up in the morning. So, in my theory, I'm not going to add going to the basement, but I know that there are some people who believe that she went down to the basement. So, I'll add that for this, and then I'll add that for this time for right now. So, what are we at? 4 minutes and 10 seconds. This officer goes immediately from the bathroom to downstairs to the basement over by Chris's bed. So we'll just push play. And we'll start at 21:34. We'll start the timer. Because he's talking to the dog and he's looking at other stuff. So he's going in the office. Okay. 21:04. He's going down to the basement. Here he goes. And these are possibly movements that she could have taken. And to reach the bed. 21:30. So we're at 4 minutes and 10 seconds. We can add a minute and 30 if you believe that she went down to the basement to talk to Chris. So there's that 5 minutes. What did I say? 21:04, 21:03. So add another 30 seconds, I guess. So 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's say they had the emotional conversation here. If we're at 4 minutes and, what did I say, 40 seconds, can I have the conversation here? Because he claims they had an emotional conversation. What is that, another 5 minutes of conversation, 4.5 minutes of conversation, he gets mad. And then the autopsy report said it took about 4 minutes for her to lose consciousness and die. So if you add the 4 minutes of a heated conversation, then that would bring you to about 13 minutes. Plus the 4 minutes of the murder, right? At least I think so. Plus or minus a couple minutes. And the only reason why I think some people believe that the murder happened in the basement is because the cadaver dogs barked here. What I think is interesting, I don't know, I wonder if this has always been up like this. Possibly because he slept down in the basement, but at the same time, we know that you can't look through those windows from the outside in. But whatever. So, in my theory, she doesn't go down to the basement. In my theory, let's back up. She goes from the bathroom. And the only reason why the bathroom is in my theory is because naturally when you get home after going to the plane, you tend to always have to use the bathroom. So am I thinking, what is this? This is a minute 10 plus the 3 minutes that she was in the bathroom, so we're at 4 minutes and 10 seconds. From the bathroom, am I thinking she would go upstairs? So let me go back to where he's going upstairs. 22, 30, 32, I think I wrote down. Yeah. Let me back up a little bit because he's walking from the kitchen straight to the upstairs. So actually this is 22:14. Let me write that down. 22:14. Okay. He's walking, walking, walking to get upstairs. And it's kind of like the officer's kind of doing the natural movements that she probably would have made. Gone up the stairs. And then I think I stopped it here, 22:32. Yeah. So we're in 4 minutes and 10 seconds in my theory that she got home, she took off her shoes, she put the bag down, possibly went in the kitchen to drop off her things, walked back to go upstairs. So all that should have taken about 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Yeah, because this would be another 18 seconds. Yeah. So we're at 4 minutes and 28 seconds right here. Let's say she peeked in and on her girls. We're not counting this time. I think I have 22 minutes and 42 seconds. Basically this time that we already have right here, where she would be at the landing and continue walking to her room. Peek in her room. Maybe to drop something off. 22:42, so another 3 seconds. So we're basically at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Peek into the daughter's rooms. Here we go. I'm not counting the times that the officer is just standing there wasting a couple seconds.
Any friends you know you could be hanging out with?
I think I have 22:56. Let me fast forward. 22:56. Just about right. 22:57. Okay. Peek in there just like she would. Okay. So that is another, let's say, 7 seconds. 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Then peeks in the other baby's room. They're right next door to each other, as they should be, right? And that was from 23:04 to 23:14, so another 10 seconds. So we're at 4 minutes and 47 seconds. So again, this leaves us with the emotional conversation, whatever he said to her, which I don't think was long. And the reason why I don't think it's long is because, yes, the neighbors did state that they would get into arguments, although they didn't hear any that night, and they claimed that the arguments would be loud, that they could hear them screaming at the top of their lungs, and that Chris gets crazy. They didn't hear any arguments that night. I think there was an instance where they said that they heard the dog barking, but I have not been able to find that. Right now I'm going to treat it as hearsay. So here it is again. We're at 4 minutes and 50 seconds or something like that. 4 minutes and 37 seconds. I can't remember what I just said. Whatever. So 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes we're at, which leaves him time to say whatever he wanted to say to her. About 5 minutes of that, which, oh wait, I forgot. Let me go back. She checks on the girls, and then she goes back to her room. So we're at 23:14, and she needs to go back to her room so she can start getting ready for bed. 23:14. Check, check. I'm not counting this time. Actually, I think I started from Cece's room at 23:04. Is that what I wrote down? I wrote 23:04. Okay, it was 23:03. I turned around. To 23:19. Why did I write 24:19? My time is off here. But technically, it would take the same time for her to go from the landing to Bella's room as to go from the landing to Cece's room. So we said that that was about 8 seconds. So we're at 4 minutes and 47 seconds. So we are now at 4 minutes and 50. What did I say? 8, 50, 55 seconds. Basically 5 minutes. So from her coming in, dropping off her bag, maybe going in the kitchen to drop off more stuff. I really wonder where they found her purse, because I thought it was in the kitchen, but obviously we didn't see it when we walked in, or when they walked in. Going to the bathroom, it all took about 5 minutes. She only has 13 minutes before her friend does the group chat, so that leaves 9 minutes left, and 4 of those minutes need to be for the time that Chris attacked her. So you do the math. 5 minutes plus 4 is 9. So that conversation that he supposedly had with her couldn't have lasted more than 4 minutes. 3 to 4 minutes. He never gave detail about the conversation. He never discussed what was really said, except for that he said he was going to separate from her. So maybe it was that quick. Maybe he did tell her, it's over, and then while she was getting ready for bed, she's like, I'm going to deal with this another time. While she's getting ready for bed, maybe that's when he attacked her. I don't know, so that's just my theory of those missing 13 minutes. Yeah, it just shows you how Chris was being calculating and premeditating, and he had multiple times to think of not doing something, or not going through with his plan or not. The whole thing is that, and he's just absolutely crazy. He's a nutcase. Alright, write down below if there are any findings that you saw, or any theories that you have. And let me know if there are other cases that you would think